We are live. Hi. Let me tweet out the stream, and then it's a short stream, just gonna be here for an hour, and then I will talk a little bit about some of the plans for stuff I have going forward, and where my head's at on all the latest things in RL land. Also, let me make sure I got the time zones right. I'm pretty darn sure that I did, but let me make sure I'm not missing this other meeting, that it is in fact in an hour. Pretty darn sure that it was PST. Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay, so here's what is going on right now. I am flying out to the new facility on Thursday. I just made a massive Amazon order of all of the things that I'm going to need to set up the stream at the new facility, as well as hardware. We got to move servers. We got to do a whole bunch of stuff for that. So my hope is that I will get there on Thursday. I will maybe be able to stream Friday or Saturday, but definitely the next week I should be there with my whole setup nicely working. And that's going to be really cool. I'm going to have some cool things to show off with that. We don't have all the new servers yet. We just have the existing ones until the tariffs go down. But that's what it's going to be. And when we get the new servers, the facility will have capacity for them. And that means that contributors get access to more compute, which is going to be great. But in the meantime, we have Puffer in a pretty awesome spot. The new dev branch is kind of just solving everything I throw at it. It seems to be a very nice step up from the current 2.0 main branch. And the key things that I've added on, which will be in a long blog post later, but you get to hear it up here early. Muon, really big. Cosine annealing, seems like it works. I need to do a little bit more testing on it because it kind of does weird things to the learning rate. The experience buffer is a big one as well. So we have this new experience buffer. It works on trajectory segments. It's really difficult to design these things well in a way that's performant. Most of the implementations out there that are used in most RL libraries just suck. So I've done my best with it. I think it's pretty decent. And that's what we're going to work on in a few minutes, is trying to shore up a couple things with that. But the thing with that experience buffer is it lets us do advantage filtering. So we can actually look at all the samples, and we can do prioritized replay on which samples are actually good and train on those. And that actually seems to help a fair bit. So we have that. We also have our brand new Puffer exclusive algorithm, I guess. It's kind of a neat little thing. It combines vtrace and generalized advantage estimation, and we have a CUDA kernel for it, so it's really, really fast. So between experience buffer changes, advantage filtering, prior replay, all that, that's kind of what is at the moment looking like it is going into the next update. There are a few other things I want to play around with more. Exploration algorithms, diversity is all you need. That algorithm had some promising results. It needs a lot more experiments. I probably am going to have to put together a whole custom environment just to see if that algorithm works the way it should. Protein, yes, thank you, Captain. Protein is huge. We have that whole hyperparameter tuning algo. Really, really solid. I'm happy with that. That's pretty much what is the core algo side of the new update. There are some fiddly things with the experience buffer. There are some perf things with the experience buffer that we're going to look at for the next hour or so. But outside of that, it's pretty darn good. Yeah, so that's mostly where my mind is at. And my goal at the moment, timeline-wise, is I want to have, by sometime next week, I want to have this experience buffer, ideally this week, but we'll see with all the stuff I have to do to prep for the new facility. I want to have the experience buffer really nice and stable, because that's the last remaining annoying thing that can cause issues. Yeah, so I think that is mostly what I'm thinking about. We've got a whole bunch of new M's that I want to get added to Puffer. Waiting on Captain for the Impulse Wars PR so I can run some experiments for him. The meta stuff is awesome. I just got decent baselines on that. We got kind of okay benchmarks on our new GPU drive port with Spencer yesterday. We're going to see what his hyperparam sweep does. I don't think he posted it, did he? Did he post Spencer? Oh, wait, he did. Restarting sweep because time step still went beyond. Let's see what he gets. We'll take a look at these real quick. Not amazing. Yeah, not amazing. That actually seems kind of sketchy, doesn't it? Where's the score? So this one is 64, which is lower than what I had before. And this is like by far the cleanest. Now, something's weird if it's hard plateaued right here, I think, right? That seems like something's wrong. Let me send this to Spencer. All right, there we go. So Spencer's got this end, got Impulse Wars. Tower Climb is pretty awesome as well. That one's like stable and good. So we have 3 new big environments plus Blastar. Bet did Blastar and Cart Pole, Simple M's. Plus we got the CPR, the common, was it CRP? Was it Common Pool Resource or something? We got that as well. So I think that is a total of, is that 6 new environments? Yeah, 6 new environments, 3 of which are pretty darn big. So that's nice. And then Spencer's going to be working on more M stuff, but that seems good for an update. Still around. All right. Let's go to the experience buffer because I think everything else is in a good spot. I guess I will say a couple of the other things on my mind. So I need to get the servers at some point. I have no idea when because they're like plus 40% price tag right now with the tariffs. I hope that these don't stay in place because it would be unbelievably stupid to like have an exemption on assembled machines, but not on components, because you're literally incentivizing assembling machines in China and then shipping them here instead of shipping the parts and doing the assembly business in America. So that seems like just an oversight to me. That doesn't seem intentional. Yeah, but I don't know. So that's one thing. The other thing is that at some point, I'm going to have to do like a month-long deep dive into hard RL tech area. Yeah, and the reason for that is that there's like a whole bunch of algorithmic innovations from DeepMind that they've like gone this whole other direction with RL, and I want to see what's in there and whether any of it's applicable. But I want to get the new update out before I do that, because otherwise it's like you just lag too far behind. Okay, let's talk about experience buffer. We do real engineering now. There are a few problems with this. One, it doesn't have a clean CUDA fallback. It can run on CPU, but you still need to have CUDA even to run it on CPU the way it's set up. There's a threading issue where you can't use, like, you have to have a certain batch size or it breaks. And then the really big one is that the way the experience buffer collects data, it kind of just breaks if you have the wrong number of environments. And I haven't been able to figure out a good workaround for that. So I think that those are the three things we're going to fiddle with at the moment. We can start with the easy ones here, though, for sure. So if I just go open the CUDA file, I was thinking about this, and I think that, yeah, so this num steps here, I don't know if this is allowed to be not a multiple of 128. I think this number has to be, but this number doesn't, maybe. So let's do, I think it's 256 max. The num steps. Is this going to compile out, or is this going to actually do? This shouldn't get compiled out, right? To round. We'll try that. And then to test this, we'll just get like some simple n. Breakout maybe. It'll recompile kernel. And then we're going to mess around with the number of m's and the batch size a bunch. That's my 1 hour alarm. I'm good for a bit. Okay, so we can see here breakout trains, and it should solve in under a minute, 1.8 million steps per second. Very, very fast, right? That doesn't look like 1.8 million steps per second to me, though. It seems like it's a bit slower, doesn't it? It seems like it's more like 1 million. So the reporting might be wrong, which would make sense. I did mess with the profiling. It looks more like 1 million, yeah. We'll fix that, though. We should be able to get close to 2 mil. But there you go. That's breakout solved in a minute. Next we do, let's just mess with this number of m's. Like, let's just do like, let's make it some awkward number of like 14 m's or something. Ready to open attempt dirty Impulse Wars PR? Awesome. Did you check that it trains in Puffer like that, though? Should definitely make sure we got baselines. Like, give me something to work off of. And we will merge that. I have a meeting at 11, and then probably like breakfast and stuff, or brunch and stuff. And then afternoon I can do merge for you, and we can start getting that, yeah, into Puffer as a core test env. Or benchmark env. Okay, so this does run. It's not supposed to be fast. We just want to make sure that it doesn't break horribly. And if I set the mini batch size to like, what if I set this to like 512? Okay, it still works. Lovely. And then, oh, actually, there's one other thing I wanted to test first. There's like some weirdness in with one env, I believe. Seems like it works here just fine. Just per batch. I'm trying to repro this bug that people hit occasionally when they try to like use one env or whatever. Doesn't seem to repro nicely. I think this was the one that people were getting the issue. Because it's not a native env, maybe. And batch size 1. Oh yeah, let me go check on one other thing for Spencer as well. We were supposed to set up a meeting. Well, floating point exception, core dumped. Well, that doesn't seem like a me problem. I would doubt that is a me problem. How about we do config Atari breakout? Let's see how that does. Native vector vec. There's multiprocessing, that's fine. Okay, so Atari has multiprocessing, and then we do 128 M's, 16 workers, 32, and batch size. Oops. This policy is probably a conf policy, right? Yeah, conf policy. But it doesn't have star quarks. Doesn't need output size. Or no, this one doesn't need output size, right? This, or it doesn't need num layers anymore. Just making sure we still have our REMs running. We definitely need to remove like some of these is continuous, blah, blah, blah. .9 mil params is actually not that far off from what we're training with neural MMO at like millions, was it 500k steps per second? So we should actually be able to make this fast, maybe. So .cell. What's happened here? Why is this a... You know what this probably is? Yeah, hang on, we know what this is. We don't need this anymore. So that's just API shenanigans like growing pains. Puffer getting bigger. Puffer getting simpler. But have to refactor things. We technically probably should just have like plug and play Atari benchmark that we can just run. It's just so freaking compute inefficient. It's like, ugh. We could do it like 30 minutes max per env or something so that we run the whole suite in a day. We'd probably still get some decent perf. Okay, the SPS will update in a second. 92% in learn. That seems sketchy. Doesn't that seem sketchy to you? Well, let's make it sketchier first by doing 1, 1, 1, like. Cert free index. Yep, that's the experience buffer shenanigans I'm fixing right now. That means your batch size isn't big enough. Or you don't have enough M's, rather, for the... I think it means you have too many M's for your batch size. I'm going to add warnings and stuff so that, like, that's easier to not do. Just, like, either double the batch size or half the number of M's and see if it works. Okay, this seems like it's broken, right? Oh no, it works. It's just really freaking slow. Works. So I think I might have fixed that other weird bug. Like, cause I'm not hitting it anymore. Let's go back to this one. Mini batch size of 1024. This is probably too small, right? Or too big or something? What the hell is this? Now I'm getting no steps percent. So that's the thing I literally just patched. But now it means that you have too few environments per batch. Yeah, so this is the jank thing with the new experience buffer that I'm fixing. It works, but it doesn't like certain param ranges right now. So I'm fixing that. It's stuff like CUDA threads, right? Like that's like CUDA threads. I just fixed that. And then there are like other related shenanigans, basically. That's good now. Let's fix that bug next. Well, not even really a bug. Let me just send this over to you. Okay, take this. If I rebase into dev, well, it'll fix some of your issues and probably cause several others. I would imagine. I mean, it's probably worth at least trying because then you'll have up to date with this and we'll see if we can get it to train on that. Like on the latest. The one that is tricky, though, is the one we're going to try to fix right now. I got to think about the experience buffer, the way it works. I can draw this, actually. If they start putting like product placement stuff into LLMs, I'm just ditching them immediately. It's like half the use case of what I use it for is like finding stuff. If it's like sponsored ChatGPT suggestion, nope. All right. So here's the thing with the experience buffer. The way it used to work was the experience buffer looked like this. And you'd get a block of data in like so. And the block of data has lots of different agents worth of experience, and you just do this. And then the next block comes in. And you again just do this. And then when you need to train, what you have to do is you make like a big buffer like this. Well, you have to like sort it first. So first this is like, hang on. You have to like sort it first so that, you know, this, where is it? This one here has to line up with this one here. So you get like this. So there's like this complicated sort operation here, where like you need the first step from each agent, or you need the step of all the agent 1, you need like all of agent 1 time steps, and then all of agent 2's time steps and whatever. So you do a sort, and then you would reshape it into like this block goes here, and this block goes here, and then this block goes here. That's how it worked. This is cool, but and this like handles variable length data segments very, very well. The issue with this is that because you have variable length data segments, when you do this reshape, you don't actually get like contiguous, like you're going to get overflow, and like segments are going to get cut across in between these. So how I currently have the new one working your new experience buffer, right? This goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and it saves it pretty much in just the order that you want to use your data, right? So this is like all ready to go. There are a few issues on this that I've punted on, like what happens if M's return very different amounts of data. Then like some of these are longer than others and you get problems. I have some ways of handling this, but it's not ideal. But this does fix this annoyance. So what you can do with this is you can just like filter out which of these segments you want and which of these segments you don't want. That's what you can do with this design. Now the issue is you actually have to start thinking about like the number of rows and stuff that you have. Because this is your segment length. So this is like BPTT horizon. And then this is like batch divided by BP. And this actually has to be a reasonable number, right? So that's the error that Captain was getting before with the assert free index less than equal experience rows right up there, is that the batch size wasn't big enough for the number of envs, because You also have to think about if you have each of these rows, right? Each row is an agent. So if you like have, let's say 40, 96 M's, then you have to have batch right? And ideally you have it as a constant multiple because otherwise you get if you don't have it as a constant multiple, then like you're not going to have anywhere to put your data for a lot of your environments. So I mean, I kind of want to think about this design for a little bit because I'm open to maybe the old one was better and this is just annoying as hell. But it's kind of tricky to say because the way that I did this before, you also couldn't do GAE anywhere near as fast. So when you had this, this buffer up top, and you sort it, you still end up with one gigantic row, right? So when you run generalized advantage estimation on this, or you run some advantage formula, you have to start at the back, right? And then you keep like hopping backwards until you hit a done. Like, what's this, D, like a done? And then you go to the next one. But you can't parallelize this at all. Like, you just have to write a C loop. And that's not actually fast enough. Even doing this like in optimized C is not fast enough. So the cool thing with this is now we have CUDA kernels, right? And the CUDA kernels are row parallel. So they're really, really, really fast. And that's actually important for what we're doing, the new advantage filtering stuff. If you have like fully vectorized ends with that return fixed length data segments, I can make this work 100%. Because you basically just go from env1 to env2 to env1 to env2 to env1 to env2. You get like this nice buffer, this nice like buffered sampling, and everything just works perfectly. So I guess the question is, how much do we care about environments with like masking, and like what is the reasonable workaround for that? Because the top one here, this natively just handles masking, variable agent length. It handles all that stuff just perfectly. That's why I did it this way originally, because it actually handles all like the jank ends perfectly. The new one doesn't really handle that at all. Well, I mean, at the possible expense of a little bit of CPU env time, which probably isn't even going to be that bad, to be fair. I can make it so that the vectorization always samples contiguous segments of environments and like does this sort of ring buffer thing or this like multiple buffered thing, right? I can actually do that very nicely. So even for single agent M's and like stuff like Atari, I actually can guarantee you that you fill up this buffer perfectly. Now you are going to end up with M's that go across segments, I guess. Like, let's say that this is 128 or this is something really long. Like, you could get a done signal right here. But it's not that bad because, like, at least you're going to keep your LSTM state from the same, you're going to keep your LSTM state from the same agent. This is how the data was collected during training. This is kind of probably fine. The other issue, though, is this kind of does force you into really long BPT horizons. So you could get into a state where like you don't have enough rows per batch to be compute efficient, because you need to have at least a certain number of rows in your batch for the GPU to be efficient. And if you make this really long, is that a problem? Yeah, because the mini batch size gets too big. But technically, like, I could always chunk this up, right? I could cut this in half this way if like that became an issue. And that would actually be not that difficult to do, I think. I could do that. So I think that this design works for that. Um, so I mean, with some warnings on like acceptable scales and stuff, this is mostly fine. The only thing that where this actually really does screw up, I think it's, and this actually might affect Captain here. Um, it's when you have like masked multi-agent M's, because like you can get a bunch of data for one agent and then a few steps for another agent. Not ideal. The old design was way better for that specific case. I keep getting the assertion in Puffer CU. I tried playing around with batch size. 260K batch, 128M, 16 workers. I rebased your latest. You still get it with the latest commit? The thread assertion should, wait, are you getting the thread assertion or the indexing one? The free index. You're getting the thread error? Okay, that's weird. What's your nth batch size? So you're only getting 32 M's each with like what, 4 agents? Sure. Let's do that real quick. And then I will go back to fixing experience buffer stuff. The masking thing is going to drive me nuts. That's the main thing I got to figure out. I think everything else is workable. I am on the Discord, Captain, when you're ready. I wonder if ad companies have already started like trying to data poison LLMs. That's going to be annoying. Desktop isn't recognized in headphones. Always fun. I was actually looking at getting a higher end headset yesterday, but then I thought that like I actually wanted to keep this one because this has this retractable mic just in case I need a backup because my really nice mic doesn't get recognized by like some stupid conferencing software. So I'm getting a very nice mic and a very nice camera and all the things you need for those, and then the same like shitty headset. Shitty for audio quality. These are actually super comfortable. They already SEO spam. And most LLM companies scrape without much filtering. I guess I don't know if that is gonna matter as much as like fake review stuff. I think the LLMs would be like way more screwed up by like fake reviews and things. I mean, like I went through a whole thing yesterday trying to figure out audio, like high-end AV stuff with Grok, and I mean, it's like you really want confidence in the answers to simple things like, "Hey, what microphone do like most professional streamers use that actually have high grade stuff? Like, what mic and camera do they get?" Like, it's actually hard to get like clear, consistent answers to stuff like that, even though most of them are using like one of the same three cameras or microphones. But yeah, long story short, I got like a whole AV setup with like a full size camera, tripod, like proper boom arm. Um, it's gonna be really cool for the new facility, and it's gonna let me do some cool new content around all this dev. And I will keep the like webcam whatever set up for elsewhere because I'm not gonna be in that facility year round, but a good chunk of the year. Hey, Captain.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Let me log in the Puffer box. Can I had to reboot and then I will share my
Your box
screen.
is good, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to
What one are you on?
box 2.
Okay. Do make sure you have everything synced today because tomorrow all boxes that have either broken CPUs or loose fans are getting sent to main gear, most likely.
Okay.
And then I'm going to like reprioritize compute so that people actually still have stuff. I think I'm taking both of my personal boxes with me, and then I will give up my the two that I'm using on the cluster for temporarily so people can use stuff.
Okay. All right. Can you see my screen?
Let's see. And of course, you know we're on stream, right?
Yep.
Fine. Just checking.
So yeah, this is just me on box 2 right now. Um, I have played around with a couple things. The original params were like I said. Uh, the number of ends were 128. The number of workers was 16. I changed some things, obviously. I can
Mm-hmm.
change them back, but even
How
right
many
now,
agents per end?
64.
Agents in each end?
Oh, I guess it's 2 times that, so I guess it's 128. No, oh, sorry, per end, 2. 2.
Two agents per end. Do you
Yeah.
usually train with that few ends?
No, normally I do, well, some sweeps have actually found, yeah, 64 M's per worker have done well, but usually it's either 64 or 128. Yeah, it's
Is
usually
it
not very
64
many.
128 when you use the x-axis as time?
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
because I
screwy
mean,
as hell.
so when I'm doing protein, um, the what is it? Like the cost is standard, like walk walk time, and then the
Yep.
score is just, well, I originally had the score being my custom like
Mm-hmm.
win rate, but then I just changed it to score because I saw that PufferLib kind of does like an eval metric
Yes.
for you, so score
So
seemed accurate.
I have not seen like the very small m screw up things, like the screwy small m weird hypers, since we switched to Muon and reran sweeps. We were getting that
So
on Atom before that it had to have like a small number of m's.
yeah, this is with Muon though. This is on latest dev.
Interesting.
I've been running a lot of these sweeps.
Okay. Well, we can try it. Let's just see to get something
Yeah,
working here
exactly.
because this is not a bug in Puffer. This is like a lack of warnings that I need to fix. And the only thing
Okay.
I haven't done, by the way, and this is literally your M is the only one affected by this. But I have to figure out something to do about masking. Masking is currently not in the dev, and I need to figure out what to do about that. The new experience buffer design basically works with everything that you could possibly imagine except masking. Um, yes, that's fine.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, masking for Impulse Wars is only important when you have more than two agents, which I'm
Yep.
not currently training on. I'm just trying to get like a two agent baseline working.
Oh,
So
and you do one. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
So let's
because
actually perfect. Let's do your experiments with two agents for now, and then
mhm,
that'll give me some time to sort this shit out.
yeah,
Okay, now
okay,
we are going to have to crank up numbers of M's and stuff to start with. So set this to like 1024 M's.
1024 M's. Okay, I
We'll
don't think
find.
that'll do well
I'm
performance
going to find
wise.
other params for you in a second.
All right,
So you've got num drones, num agents. What do you do? 4 core, quad buffer. Holy BPT Horizon Batman. What the hell is that?
what 256?
Yes, that's big. That's chunky.
So I found that the sweep's either like 256 or 128.
Was it sensitive to it? Like, was there a big perf difference?
Uh, decent. I can pull up. I can send you the sweeps or
So,
share them on it.
2048 M's. Oh wait, no, 1024 M's is too many because you have 16
Yeah.
processing. Wait. Okay, no, dude, set 64 is totally fine because that gets multiplied by the number of workers.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't realize that you had 16. So 64 times 16 is 1024 M's. That's like
Hmm.
roughly on par. I would still want to see 128, but that's still fine. So then if we do
Well,
128, 16.
128 is what the I was doing originally,
Yep,
but
okay.
that was giving me a different error. So
Yeah, we'll fix both of those. So 2048 times 250, was it 256 Horizon? Has a minimum
yeah.
batch size requirement of 524. Yep, so that's what you have. So you can just try this and see what happens first.
And mini batch isn't affected by this, right?
Mini batch.
Like,
The only thing is that's going to be slow as hell to learn because the thing you
okay.
got to think about 16 384 divided by 256 Horizon, you only have 64 rows parallel for your GPU.
Hmm. Yeah, this is just what the sweep. Well, actually, the sweep suggested 264K batch and 8K mini batch. So I just basically
Yep.
doubled. When I doubled the batch, I doubled the mini batch, but
I
I can
am
boost it
planning on
up.
helping you with retuning once you have this
Okay.
improved, anyways.
Let's just see if this runs though.
Yes. Like, I'm going to help you with this, anyways.
Cool. Yeah. Yep. This is what I'm getting.
Are the
And
corners cut off in PufferLib on your term?
I think because I'm double T-muxing. Because I have T-mux in the puffer box and I have T-mux on my host, so it sometimes gets weird.
I guess it's not an ASCII
Um,
character or whatever.
yeah.
It doesn't
Maybe
show
I
the
don't have
pufferfish
your.
either, right? It doesn't show the pufferfish emote. Yeah, okay, it's probably
No.
yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
Saskia. Okay, maybe I'll find an ASCII
Um,
character that I can use for that. Okay, good to know. That's so weird though that you have colors. You have like full color, but you don't have like UTF-8.
so weird. Getting the last commit was not today. Did you push that?
I might have fucked up. Hang on, that's Puffer Max 1. Okay, try that.
This is just rebuilding. What? So this is something to do with mini batch and what
Hang
else?
on. Hang on. Size of a
Hmm.
tensor. Uh-huh. Config.clip be lost. Alright, go put a breakpoint there.
All right.
Those should be getting batched correctly. It seems to me like one of those is flat and the other isn't.
And 476. I don't know how to do this.
Live debugging.
Actually, you should just be able to hop on this box, right? If you just wanted, it'd probably be faster if you did it,
That is true.
because this is just on box 2.
That is a perk of the cluster I forget about. Was it Pufferbox 5?
No,
No.
2.
Is it in Tmux?
Yeah, so just Tmux attach.
Oh. And I get your breakpoint. Perfect. Man, this is like the more I play around this, the more I like this cluster setup.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't really need the stream up. There's like a couple second lag.
No, no, no. The stream is for YouTube. We got 5 folks on YouTube. Hello. Uh, huh. Well, that's screwy. How did I mess that up?
So you know what happened?
Well, something's not getting reshaped correctly. You using Puffer Advantage?
Uh,
Should be default.
I'm if it's a default, yes, I think. Maybe
Config.use puff advantage.
I might need to check the default. So I don't set it,
True.
but I remember okay, yeah.
Use puff advantage. It's just vtrace plus generalized advantage estimation
Yeah,
in one
yeah.
CUDA kernel. That took me a solid 2 days of just banging my head on math to realize it was like a 3-line change in CUDA.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it literally
Is
is.
that
Because there
simple?
were 2
Dang.
papers and they wrote their math like completely differently. But like when you actually see how they see what it is and you like change all the variables to match each other and like you rewrite all the formulas, like it's literally the same algorithm with like one small change. So you can just put them together
Wow.
trivially. But it took me 2 days of banging my head against the math to figure that out.
Dang. Huh. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of different ways to express the same thing in math and stuff, so
Well,
yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's cool.
yeah, I would have realized it. I should have realized it sooner. My math it's improving. You know, I've been doing more of it lately. It's been improving. It's still kind of bad, but
Still leagues above mine, but I don't well, mine was never that good to begin with, and I also don't really need to flex what little I have hardly ever, so
yeah, I this is why mine isn't good, right? It's because I don't like need it that often. But now I'm starting to.
yeah.
It's like, okay, I gotta pick some stuff up. Um, so the returns are batched and the value is not. I thought this new value got. I mean, that's like. Do you have a custom LSTM wrapper or something?
Uh, Not, I mean, I wrap around it. I mean, you can look at it. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't really do much. It basically just
I
wraps around
probably
like the
did some
LCD
like
wrapper.
jank reshape stuff, and you probably don't have it.
I mean, I might have done something. You can take a look at it quick.
Let me just see value. So look, you see this reshape here? You're missing this, is my guess.
Hmm.
So where's your policy?
It should, excuse me, it should be in PufferLib, Ocean, Torch at the bottom.
Ay, 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 ay. This subclass is recurrent.
Yeah, and you basically alias it above to like the LSTM wrap or whatever.
Um, you don't have forward train on this. How's this running without forward train? Maybe it's not needed. Seems weird though.
Oh, forward train is a new thing.
Yeah. I don't know if you actually need it outside of the comms though if you're not using like non-recurrent policy. And I do have to go soon, but let me see if we can at least fix this for you. Seems fine. Well, there's your problem.
What? Oh,
It's
is
not
TT
getting.
supposed to be?
Mm-hmm. This something. Did this get merged correctly? I don't know if you got merged nicely or not. Let me
Also,
see.
if I look, I have a. It's not ready for merge quite yet, but I have a branch, and when I do a like a diff basically on PufferLib dev, I don't think anything in CleanRL gets modified. So
I'm suspicious of this thing right here. Also, if you don't tag with Neptune, it'll load faster. If you don't run Neptune for tests, it'll load faster.
okay, good to know. Makes sense.
You have compile on?
Yeah.
Okay, that's I didn't account for that. That's why. Uh, where is it? Config ocean impulse.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a me problem. My bad.
So what was the issue?
I just didn't account for compile in my reshapes because I check if it's an instance of an LSTM, and I
Hmm.
forgot that compile adds an extra wrapper.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So I will fix that. I will make a note to fix that.
Okay, yeah, seems to be working.
No, it isn't because you're not getting any agent
Uh,
steps.
what?
Yes, that's the other bug with the experience buffer.
Yeah, because I've never
No,
seen it
no,
go
no,
to
no. That's
900
the other
SPS.
bug.
So what causes that?
That one's just demons.
Fair enough.
Okay. Let's let the SPS update 160. You're probably getting higher than that before, right?
Yeah, well, so yesterday I saw up to like 200 with different hyperparameters or something, but
Well, we can
again,
optimize. You're losing all the time in the forward pass right now.
yeah, and that's because of the multi-discrete actions.
Is it? So I
Yeah.
actually
So if
I
you
actually would very much like to get the stats and the reporting on that because I've got a client that is likewise unhappy with multi-discrete sampling perf.
hmm,
So I will be very happy, like, well, let's get this integrated because this will be a perfect test case for me to figure out what the heck is wrong with that because I can't reproduce
sure.
it anywhere else.
Um, there probably is some. Well, I don't know actually what to do to fix it, but I know, like I said, if you
Mhm.
just get um Torch compile working like correctly with minimal graph breaks, that basically eliminates it. And now, well, once that was working before, the bottleneck went
Mhm.
from forward. Well, once Torch 2.6 hit, um, the bottleneck went from forward to env. Like env, I was being hard env bottleneck, which makes sense because impulse force is a slowish env with all the physics stuff. So right now I'm being like almost totally, as you can see, forward pass
Mhm.
bottlenecked, but
Yeah,
compile
I'm
just completely
confident we will
eliminates
be
that.
able to at least double your perf though with this. We should be able to.
Okay, cool.
So 300K is like kind of a minimum for Puffer being fast. Um, all right, cool.
And this is also slower because there is one agent per M. So two, well, wait, yeah, actually, my bad. One agent per M. There's two drones, but one is scripted. If you have two agents per M, then it like basically doubles, which is nice. But
Okay,
I haven't got self play working well yet,
we'll be
which is
able to
also
get
something
there.
I'd like to
Don't
do.
worry.
Yeah.
But definitely just like get this PR finished, and I will see if I can merge it later today. Depends how long cluster stuff takes after meeting. And
Okay.
yeah, we will chat. But I'm looking forward to getting some baselines on this. It'll be fun, and I'm gonna make the experience buffer less of a pain to like get params right and stuff. Like that's the very next thing on the to do list. So.
Yeah. So I know you, so yeah, I know you have to go, but really quick,
Mhm.
it's pretty much ready to be merged. Obviously, I need to touch up a few things, but I won't be able to do a test run until you fix these things. I'm guessing I should wait for that and then do a test run and then get it merged.
Fix what things?
Uh, well, just until you make it so I can actually train on it. Should I wait until that?
You can
Like
train
I
on it
can
right
just do a
now, can't
test
you?
run? Huh?
All I changed was your config here, didn't I?
Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
No.
Yeah,
So just put
never
that as your
mind.
config for now, and then we'll resweep it once that's unbroken.
Yeah,
All right.
cool. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll just as long as it learns something, we're good, right?
Yep.
With these hypers. Cool.
Yep. All right.
All
Thanks,
right, yeah,
Captain.
thanks, man.
See ya. Okay. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. I will be back this afternoon after meeting, most likely. All my stuff is at puffer.ai. You can help us out for free by starring the repo on GitHub. It really helps a lot. And you can join Discord to get involved in dev. It's all open source, and most of the people who came in here came in with zero RL experience and sometimes zero AI experience. Just need to be able to program. Um, I'm usually live most days. I've got some stuff to do to move to the new facility, but then there will be full-time streaming set up there with all the dev for the foreseeable future. So thanks, and see you around.